Good morning, this is Cindy and welcome to my channel. So we're ready for the next step on the box. I thought we were ready before. You can see that it's all covered now with all of the paper. And I was going to do this yesterday and then realized I really needed to give it one more layer of Mod Podge. That way I was sure that every part of the surface was covered. Everything is nice and, well, I wouldn't say smooth. I'm not going to smooth it out. I suppose you could take a sandpaper to it and smooth it out and Mod Podge it again and all of that. But, you know, it's a box that's going on my shelf that it's going to be used. So that part's not important to me. I also did not start with a very good box. So you can see that we have a little bit of bowing on the one side still, even though I reinforced it and all. That's okay. You know, it is what it is. So in order to decorate it, I have some disinfectant wipes. I have one right here that's nice and wet. And I have a couple of tubes of acrylic paint and a water spritzer. The two colors I have, this is Viridian Hue and Violet. These are Reeves. I have no idea if they're good paints or bad paints. They're paints my husband didn't want anymore because my husband is a plein air painter, and sometimes he paints in acrylic, and sometimes, more often now, he paints in oil. He still does classes in acrylic, but mostly he's painting in oil. So I want these two colors, and I'm just putting a little bit on a piece of plexiglass, just so that you don't worry that I'm getting it all over my protector. There's just a little bit of plexiglass down there that is really just a piece of leftover from a project. I'm adding a little bit of water to these just to make them a little bit easier to use. And I will be using my disinfectant wipe to put some paint. Let me get the water in there. Got a lot of it on here. Let me spritz that a little bit more. There we go. Okay, I guess we're going to go with a lot of it. And you can paint whatever. I'm going to actually paint my inside first. And I'm going to go very light. And just put some paint down lightly to start with. There we go. And I'm not necessarily covering it because I got a lot of paint there. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit on the outside only because I have so much paint here and I don't want it to be quite such a dark color. Okay, inside or outside. You could also paint the bottom. I don't know if I will or not. I certainly won't today because I need to be able to set it down like that. Okay. And I am painting up just a little bit here. You know, and you know that that's going to end up getting used for something. I'm adding a little more water to that purple before I get started. Oops. All right, we're just knocking covers all over the place here. There we go. That's a little bit better. It's not quite as thick. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're just going to put a couple splotches of color down to start. There. And then we're going to spread them out. And really, you can use any set of colors that you like. I like the purple and the teal because they go with my craft room. And I'm blending them kind of sort of together. I want to make sure that the whole of it is covered. And of course, now I just put my paint there, or my fingerprint there. But you can see why I do the inside first, because I really am turning this around a lot. Although it's pretty dry. Acrylics dry fairly quickly. I don't know how much of this you could see inside, because, you know, I'm doing it inside the box. I'm trying to turn it so that you can see it. Yeah, because acrylics dry fairly quickly, I do want to, and I don't really want the splotches, I'm going pretty fast here. My husband said to me, "You said you're going to paint it. Why did you do it with all the music if you're going to paint it?" Because I'm using a very, very thin paint, and I want it to show through. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit more of that teal. Throw a little more teal in here. Come up the sides. Okay, so this side ended up being a little bit darker than the others, and that's okay. We'll just leave that as it is at the moment. I do want to put a little more teal into this side. I'm going to have to add more paint to my palette there in a minute. Let me grab my water. Okay, I'm picking up a little bit of that paint with the water because I don't want it quite so dark, and spreading out what's there. That's one way you can do it if you've got, if you ended up with something that's a little bit darker than you want, just throw in a little water and that'll work. Okay, I want to grab a little more purple here. Fill that in some. Okay, I'm going to let that dry on the inside. It won't take that long. But this is going to end up being a really cool piece to be able to use somewhere. Okay, I'm going to throw a little more paint down on my palette, my plexiglass. Doesn't require a lot of paint. Got some paint on my table. Wash that off before it gets stained. Okay. And then add my water to it. Oh, I already took the top off. The top's actually on the floor. And now we're going to do more of the sides. Just a little bit of that purple. It looks like I'm going off, but it's still on the, or a little bit of the teal. It's still on the plexiglass. And these are the sides now that people are going to see if you look at my shelves, or at least I'm going to see them. Not too many people come visit me in my craft room, except perhaps my husband. I'll probably have too much paint out there. I'm putting down my teal. Stay in the frame of the camera. And you can go as dark as you want with it. And I'm going fairly light with this teal at the moment, because I'm going to be adding purple to it right now. I'm looking for a spot here. There we go. There's going to be very little on here that isn't on this cloth that isn't covered. Okay, let's go to this side. We're going to add in now the teal in all those, or the purple in all those spaces where the teal isn't. More paint. There we go. Because I have watered it down so much, it spreads very, very easily. I'm trying to get it up underneath my ridge there. Okay. The other ones I have done are much darker. I'm going to do my, knowing that my ends, this end is going to be the one that sticks out. I'm going to do that just a little bit darker. Put a little teal back down there. I'm using the two colors to kind of, not really trying to blend them in. I just want them to, can you see how that's working? Okay. It's still a little bit, oh, I just got it on my fingers. There we go. Okay. Get all that water up there. Okay, that's really dark. So let me use a different part. There we go. Spread it all over. Obviously, I am not really, when it comes to paint, I'm not much of an artist. I paint with words and paper, not so much paint. I like how the teal shows up in the background there, but I kind of covered it over maybe a little too much, so I'm going to add a little bit of teal back in. There. Okay. And I want this one to be a little bit darker, this side. I don't think it's quite dark enough. I have too much white of the paper showing through. Don't forget to do your corners. I do tend to forget that. Okay, that's very purpley, so we're going to throw a little more teal in. There. Okay, I did my tops in teal. I'm going to do my tops with a purple overlay. Oh, okay, that's a very purpley overlay. So, get a little teal. I'll throw that over the top. But you've got to be careful, because after a while you're picking it up as well as putting it down. So, okay, and I just stuck my fingers in it. Okay, going back to the inside and kind of finishing it off. Finding all those little places that I missed before. Okay, find a purpley spot. There we go. Purple's my favorite color. Teal is my second favorite color. Put them together. And what do you got? Not bippity boppity boo, but some really pretty, a really pretty piece. And this is, now I'm not done with this. Once I get all my paint on here, I still have one more thing I want to do with it. Now you could do a lot of different things. You could stencil at this point. You could decoupage a napkin over the top of it. All sorts of different things. I am going to simply, because I'm not selling this. This is just for my own use. Way too much paint. I am going to do one more thing to it once I get the bottom done. And like I said, it dries very quickly. My sides are already dry. Okay, let's do that bottom up a little bit because I still have some white spaces in there. Let's throw a little teal down here. I'm doing it all with one cloth, although I'm going to be honest with you, look at my fingers. I might have been better off using a second cloth just because it's not working quite as well in the corners now because it's picking up as well as it's putting down. All right, I'm going to call that done. All right, I'm going to give myself a cleanup here, and I will tell you what I'm doing next, but the next part has to be done off camera, and that is using these Distress Oxide sprays. I have, what do I have here? I have Wilted Violet, I have Salty Ocean, and I have Faded Jeans. And I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to spritz around the outside. I'll come back and show you what it looks like in a moment. Okay, I've had my bit of a cleanup and I have put my things on my palette to dry. I'm going to leave those sit here. And this is already dry. I did not do the bottom. I may yet, but at the moment I think probably not. There is my piece. I'm going to take it downstairs now and outside and use my sprays on it, and I'll come back and show you what I have ended up with in a moment. I am back. The box is now done. It's still a little damp, but I thought I would show you the sides. I don't know how well the light is showing that to you. It still looks very white there, but it isn't. It actually is not white at all. There's no white left on any of it. I have spritzed the sides. This side I spritzed. Let me get it over here for you. I spritzed and then it kind of got a little weirdo. Hang on, I'm going to try something different with my camera. I'm going to take it down and show you a different angle. I've gone handheld to show you the box now finished. It is not actually, I know that one section looks a little bit white. It is not. It is actually a light lavender. Not sure why it's coming out white in the video. Here we go. We'll take a peek on the inside and show you the inside pieces. Inside of the box. I'll come up a little bit there and show you that piece. Obviously, I am not a cameraman. Holding the camera and showing is not the easiest thing. The inside is still a little bit damp. I'll show you this side as well. Again, it's coming out very light, but or very white, but it is not. It is actually a nice, pretty lavender color. So this is how to make an ephemera box. The picture of it filled with the ephemera holders will be probably my teaser picture, whatever the picture that you put on the front of your videos. That I will put a picture of this in there. all finished and filled. I can't fill it quite yet because that inside is still a little bit damp. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and like this video. YouTube likes it when you like it. And I will see you soon with some other project. I hope you've enjoyed this, both parts. And this is Cindy signing off.